Don't say that. Never say that. Goonies never say die.
Yo, and for this next guest, we have to take you back to 1985.
Do it.
We had to go deep, man. And that
Does that make me OG?
That makes you OG, baby. You
Awesome.
That makes you triple OG.
Oh,
Magical year.
All right, DP, go ahead, do the honors, DP.
Oh, man.
Run it down the line, baby.
We just played the clip, Mikey Walsh from the Goonies. Encino Man, one of my other favorite movies. I mean, we had Brendan Fraser here a little while ago.
Yeah.
Toy Soldiers. I could go on. He has the voice of Raphael in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Come on.
Oh, yeah.
Let's go kick some shell.
Wow. And now he's playing Bob in season 2 of Stranger Things. Please welcome Sean Astin.
Yeah.
Thank you all very much.
Yo, man. Can you do that, Raphael? Do it again. What?
Yeah. Come on. Let's go, Mikey.
Damn.
Stop. Yeah.
Can you throw Sway in the morning? Like, say, hurry up. We got
Sway in the morning. Come on. Let's go. Meet me in the lair.
Who does this?
I don't know if he just propositioned Sway or
Yeah,
what
I
happened
feel like
right
I know,
there.
man. I kind of got aroused off
Crazy.
that.
I don't know what happened.
Wow.
Yeah, slightly when he said the layer. Hey, man, one of the most.
Well, that's the thing. They're brothers.
Oh, okay.
They're brothers. Those turtle brothers. They live down underneath the sewer, and they when they go out to fight crime and do everything they do. You know, they're misfits out in the world. But when they get back down into that lair, that's their brothers, man.
Wow, that's what's up, man.
It's deep.
Sean Astin.
Yeah.
Your life, man. Have you written a book about your life yet?
I put out a book in 2003, right after the Lord of the Rings phenomenon.
Okay.
So it was, I don't know if it was like about my life. Yeah, it was a little bit. It said There and Back Again in Actor's Tale. But I just knew that it would sell. So I kind of, it's hard. It's hard out here.
It's hard out here, man. But you know, we're gonna get into Stranger Things, which I've been trying to watch that second season, and I you know, I was a big fan of the first season, and I've been having problems. I was telling DB, understanding what the hell I'm watching. The Upside Down World meets, you know. But anyway,
well, are you trying to watch it with the front part of your brain?
I am. Is that the problem?
You just need to relax and sit back and let it wash over you. Really, the strength of the season is the relationships between the characters, and if you don't, and you know, and this big monster, but don't worry about the monster straight up. Just you know, how are they relating to each other? You got the sheriff, you know, Hopper, and this little girl who is that little girl. You know, it's easy now that she's so iconic. You know, and everywhere you've seen, there's people dressing up as her for Halloween, and men dressing up as her for Halloween. That's not right. But no, this cop, I could tell you stories, but no, he's got this little girl who was abducted and tortured. And now she can't be in society, or else her life is in danger. So they've got this little cottage out in the woods, but how are you? You know, he wants to protect her, but it's weird. How do you live with? So there's that whole story, right? And then you've got these kids, and they're getting older. They're starting to come into their liking girls' age, you know. And they got anyhow. And then I'm Bob.
You're Bob.
I'm Bob.
Bob, who gets to kiss Winona Ryder's character?
There's nothing wrong with that.
Joyce Byers, right?
Nothing wrong with that.
All right.
Winona Ryder's so beautiful.
Yo, what is it like
kiss her?
Yeah, really?
Yeah. Well, I didn't really give her much of a chance. It's like asking a shell what it's like when the tide comes, you know?
I'm dying. Be careful with that shot. It's a different time now.
Oh, I know it is. She's
spoke,
smiling the whole time.
She's smiling the whole time, you know, and then you're the nerd in high school that she never paid attention to, right?
That's right. That's exactly right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then now he's so excited. He's like, I can't. And the thing is, she's a broken woman. You know, she was married. Her ex-husband's just a bastard. And her son has been like demonically possessed, and she's been trying to, you know, first she had to find him, and now she's got to protect him. So as the second season comes in, like, here's a guy who, like, he's just a nice guy. He just likes her. Yeah. He just wants to take care of her, wants to protect her, wants to do whatever he can for her. And he's this schlubby guy, and he's a goofy, you know, he loves Kenny Rogers and, you know, like Mr. Mom, likes watching Mr. Mom. But it doesn't matter, because sometimes in life, you just want somebody who really just loves you for you and cares about you. And that's like enough, you know?
Well, shit, you kind of got real on us right there, Sean Astin.
Well, she called me a pederast, so I just had to be careful.
Tracy. All right, I'm going to switch it up there for you, Sean. Well, FYI, Sway just came from Amsterdam, and you were telling him don't use the front of your mind to, you know, digest the show. So I'm wondering.
Now he can't.
I left it in Amsterdam.
Do you suggest taking a couple hits before you watch? Is that the best space to be in?
Oh, man.
Oh, Lord.
You could say it.
I just went to Amsterdam. I just went to Amsterdam, too. And you know what my thing about Amsterdam was? All the stuff you hear about the red light district and blah, 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 and all this stuff, it's all in, like, 20 yards.
Yeah.
It's like one tiny little spot where these women who you really don't, I guess it's a living, they dance in those little boxes and stuff. And you're like, maybe I'm just too old now. Because I'm like, let's.
Yeah, you felt sorry for him, huh?
I did.
Yeah. We were there just a few days ago. I didn't.
So should you, I don't, no.
Okay.
Unless that's your thing, at which point I urge you to be careful.
Okay. Hey, I didn't realize I read about Desi Arnaz.
Oh yeah.
That was for a long time a father figure in your life.
Yeah, I sort of maybe still even. My father is John Astin Gomez from the Addams Family, and he's 87 years old now. He teaches drama at Johns Hopkins, and he's a wonderful man. He raised me from the time I was 1, and I love him. He was every day before going out to school. Have a great day, and that's an order. Like he was the original goofy dad. But that said, he was not my. So I have to sort of start with that. I have to set it up. But my mom, before she knew my dad, was Patty Duke, famous actress, and she was with Desi Arnaz Jr. And they were the Benefer or whatever. I don't know who's out there that they were on the cover of all the magazines and Inquirer and all the. So
magazines. They were like J-Lo and J-Rod.
A-Rod,
yeah. Like right? Is that a good one?
That's a good one. I buy that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's actually funny, when I met him, his mother Lucille Ball had saved like 30 of those magazines where Desi and my mom and then me as a in utero, and then as I was born and stuff. Because it was all about like now baby daddy's a word, right?
Yeah.
But then it was like there was love child back then, right? And then it was like who is the father, who's the thing, and it's really kind of mean sport. And my mom could not handle it. She was manic depressive, and it messed her up a lot. But he believed that he could be my father, and my mom always maintained that he could be my father, but my genetic father. But we didn't really. But Lucy and Desi didn't want her around.
Your mom?
My mom, yeah. Well, Desi Sr. was okay, but the way Desi Jr. tells it now, he's like my godfather now, is the way I look at it. We finally met properly like when I was 22 or 3, and we spent a couple of those, like 2 or 3 years, like it was a montage in a movie, playing baseball and running on the beach together. And then we were like, should we get a DNA test? Like, yeah, we probably should. We want to be, the truth is really important. So we got it. It was like, absolutely cannot be. Just blood, DNA evidence. Like, he's not my biological father. So I know my biological father now. I've met him too. And we're friends. I just talked to him last week for a couple hours. But you brought up Desi, Desi. You said Desi, but you meant Desi Jr.
I meant Desi Jr.
Yeah,
I was a big fan of Lucille Ball. I grew up watching a lot of the I Love Lucy, and and I thought they were genius when they opened up the was it Desi Lou Studios?
Yeah, and they created Star Trek.
They created Star Trek, but they kind of like what we see Tyler Perry doing today in terms of creating his own studio, making his own sitcoms and movies. They were really ahead of the time.
He was an immigrant.
Yeah,
but I mean, like a proper immigrant. He was Cuban immigrant at the time when like that was. That there was a lot of you had the revolution going on, and that's all a big deal, like in the music and where the cross sections of that are, but the American public, it was really the first time that the American public like embraced that Cubano, like into his hey Lucy, you got so splendid, they loved him. Like to me, that's America's heart. America, they can see something that's different and they can love it, even though they get their fears preyed on a lot of times, and they're trained to kind of like not like people who are different than them. That's a really beautiful thing, and Babalu and the whole like Santorian kind of culture and all that stuff is pretty. It's powerful. Powerful juju, man.
You ever have holidays? But then I'm gonna leave this. But I was just
no, that's okay.
You ever sit at the holiday like with Lucille Ball? Like
no, she was. I didn't know her until she died when I was still.
Okay.
Yeah, right. So I never knew her. In fact, my little brother, when she died, there was stuff on the Inquirer or whatever those magazines are saying, is Sean Astin heir to Lucy's millions?
Jesus.
Oh, really?
Wow.
Yeah. And my brother saw that it was actually like a Mother's Day, and we were getting something at the grocery store to bring up to where that family was and stuff, and he saw that and he just started crying. My little brother started crying. He's an emotional guy. Yeah, and I was like, well, are you all right? What's the matter? And I saw what he was looking at. I'm like, dude, this is just a stupid magazine. And in his mind, it's like, I don't have a brother.
Oh,
that's how he felt at the time, and it's like, so. But he does have a brother. We shared a womb, two years apart.
Yeah.
But
that's important.
But anyhow, so then the attorney, he's like, Sean, what do you want to do about that? I said, well, is it possible that I'm heir to her millions? He goes, no. I said, then there's nothing to do about it.
You're right. What the hell are you getting me hyped for?
Sean Astin is here. If you want to talk to him, 888-742-3345. He's on the series Stranger Things now.
Yeah, because Sean, I'm such a huge fan, and I saw that you stood by one of your co-stars, Corey Feldman. You've been very supportive, even though he's been voicing everything that's happened to him from his youth up until now, and people sort of kind of just push it aside. You know what I mean? And how important it is now that people are starting to actually pay attention and believe these victims of all the stuff that's going around in Hollywood with these accusations. How important it is for people to come out and tell their story.
Well, I believe you said when we first sat down that it's a different world now.
Yeah.
And it really is. And that's a good thing. And it comes with a whole new set of dynamics, responsibilities, dangers, different dangers. Corey's my friend. I love Corey. I've always been Corey's friend. I've always been a champion for him. This new mission he's on right now, I feel my support for him is like an auntie. Like, are you eating? Are you sleeping? Are you taking care of yourself? Like, don't do something like this under duress. And he's stone cold, like sober, looking me in the eye going, no, this is what I'm doing and this is why I'm doing it. So, so when you ask how important it is, I think it's important for our entire culture to make it safe for people to talk. And unfortunately, one of the things, and I watched this with Alyssa Milano the other day, she used his hashtag I stand with Corey. And that was real support for this particular thing. He's raising $10 million to make a movie that addresses child abuse and sexual abuse in Hollywood or whatever. So sexual child abuse in Hollywood. Oh. So and she stood up for it, and there were some people that were, some of her, she's got like 3 million followers now or something like that. She's really politically active. But people started saying, like, well, why didn't you do something? When you guys are around the same areas. And Corey's been throwing a kind of a wide net out there saying like, oh, there's thousands of people who know exactly what I know. And I'm like, Corey, I didn't see you get molested. I didn't see anyone get molested. I heard rumors and they sounded pretty credible. But what can I do? Honestly, what can you do in a certain moment? If I come up to you, if you play out the scenarios of, it's pretty hard to figure out what to do. But what I reacted to after the Alyssa's thing was like, wait a minute. It's not going to be good for victims if everybody starts shaming the people who are around them. Yeah. Because all they're going to do is put them back under a rock. Mm-hmm. So you have to make it okay for people. You say, well, what about a brother who's in a family where there was child abuse? What's the brother supposed to do? Should he go to jail? Should we all hate that brother? Mm-hmm. He was traumatized by that. You know what I mean? So like, as we feel our way through the new world, we just have to be careful to protect everybody. And my brother, he wrote a whole thing and he read it to me, but he didn't want to put it out there because he didn't think it was ready yet. But the point he made was really interesting, and it's a point that was made by the pastor in Texas this morning, which is you have to be compassionate for the molester. You have to be compassionate for the shooter because something is wrong with them, and God wants you to pray for them too. And if you can do that, then you can have a real conversation, and you have to protect yourself and you have to protect your loved ones, and that's good. But I think it's no more important for a celebrity to speak out, but courage is contagious. Yes.
Yeah, Sean Astin, man. Damn, man.
I like you, Sean.
I love this dude, man. Rudy is here, man. Damn, man. You got any questions for this guy? 888-742-3345. Give us a call. Sway in the morning.
It's Sway in the morning, only on Shade 45.